who face perhaps the most stigma and discrimination worldwide and astronomically high rates of infection?
Transgender women are probably the most heavily impacted population globally, and I don't believe that there are any presentations this year. And it's not because we did not accept presentations, it's because there's been so little research funded in this important area.
Michael Smith, MedPage. It's on? Oh, good. Glad to hear it. I wonder if somebody can comment the trial on there's another trial on paracoidal tenofovir gel, which has very similar results to the previous trials on the same gels. Is it time to move on from that? Can one of you folks comment? Probably you, Dr. Bookbinder, but somebody else said time to get away from this because it doesn't seem to be working in women.
I don't think it's time to get away from the notion of a topical microbicide or a topical pre-exposure prophylaxis agent. I think that what we've had so far has not been successful, in part because women have not wanted to use them. They are being tested as rectal microbicides as well. And I think that there's still more work that needs to be done on formulations and on delivery methods so that there's something that would be optimally used. I think particularly for rectal transmission, if men are using lubricants, if you could develop a microbicide that could be used as a lubricant and could be delivered in such a way that it was providing enough potency in the right place, then that could actually have a very substantial role. I think the other thing to remember is that next year we hope to have data on 2 large vaginal ring studies, and so I think that that's another way to be delivering locally antiretroviral agents.
Work? Does it work? I'll just talk loud. Oh, I have to use the microphone. Okay, sorry. Tom Paulson from Humanisphere here in Seattle. At the session that made me late to get here, someone raised the question of whether or not the PrEP studies have been too focused on men. And I'm curious what the panel thinks, if that the emphasis has been more on men, not enough on women, and how the voice trial may have also impacted that.
Yeah, I think, well, I'll just start. I think that Susan should comment as well, but these major trials have included, IPREX was all men, but the trials in Africa have been, on microbicides, have been in women only, or, but in different populations as far as heterosexual women who are not in a couple atmosphere, discordant couples, the Jared Baton studies, and thousands of couples were enrolled in that, and thousands of women have been enrolled in the major topical microbicide trials.
So I'd say that actually what Scott said is absolutely correct, and that the IPREX study was the only study in men who have sex with men until this meeting, when we're going to hear data from 2 other studies, which are going to be very important confirmations of that. The studies in women, I think we've really got to be careful not to throw out the idea of pre-exposure prophylaxis in women. We know that it was highly effective in serodiscordant couples. And again, what we really need to do is understand from the women what they want and need, and be sure that they are fully engaged in actually taking pre-exposure prophylaxis or ultimately using, for instance, a ring. My understanding is that from the ring studies, our hope is that the adherence is quite high. And so again, if we can find tools that people actually want to use, then hopefully we will have more efficacy. But there have been a number of studies, but that doesn't mean that we don't have a lot more work to do in women.
And I would refer you to the Meet the Expert session for the press tomorrow at 2:30, if I'm correct in that, because there will be a 1:30, sorry.
Hi, this is a question for Susan, maybe. This question might be a little bit premature, but I'm pretty interested in the IPREG study results when they come out. And I'm just wondering if you anticipate changing messaging about PrEP based on results of that trial. And just wondering, if the Department of Public Health might say, for people who are reading this and maybe taking PrEP every day, what should they take away from this study if?
So I'm also really excited about seeing the results, which I haven't seen yet. I've only seen the abstract, so I think we're going to need to wait to see it. And I would
Right.
also say that the results are probably pretty early and are going to need to be more fully developed because we need to really understand the relationship between sexual exposures and pill-taking practices. And I do, again, just caution again and again that this is for men who have sex with men and not necessarily for women. If we find other strategies for delivering PrEP in a way that men find useful to use them, then I think that that's fantastic. There is a paper that just came out in the last month or two looking at the pharmacokinetics of tenofovir and how long it takes to get up to an appropriate level and how long it lasts afterwards. I think what we've got to remember is that there is variability between people, and so the average may not cover everyone. What we really need to do is see what the results of this trial are, try to understand a little bit better what the pharmacokinetics are, and then we can make recommendations based on that. So I'm not anticipating that recommendations will come immediately after this trial, but we'll wait to see what the data show. My guess is that this is going to be a partial presentation of data.
One more question.
Jennifer Johnson with the Well Project. This is a question for Julie. I'm curious to know if,
That mic, could you give her the other mic, please? For some reason, no.
Are you sure? I can hear it perfect.
Yeah, but I'm not.
That's weird.
I can do both. Oh, thank you. Jennifer Johnson with the Well Project. This is a question for Julie, and I'm curious to know if any of the things that we will be learning about new gene delivery or innate immune responses will be inclusive of or specific to females. And I say that specifically because last time I checked, even all the males, even all the macaques tended to be male.
Actually, most of the macaque studies that are being done are in females looking at vaginal exposure. But that's really where we are with some of these approaches. Most of them are being done in a mouse model or the macaque model. So we're not yet seeing this in human studies, in which case it would be for Susan to talk about. But the macaques, most of it is vaginal challenge routes in the animals.
Okay, I'd like to thank the panel. We're moving on to the second part of the press conference. So, thank you.